All right, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but I had to take care of some things plus the holiday. All right, so we're back on this project. Jesse Owens, Joe Lewis, and Jackie Robinson tribute build. So tonight, what we're going to do is, well, today what we're going to do is we're going to start laying down color on old Jackie Robinson here. I see a little few mistakes that I made. The paint didn't go too well inside of the lip. So we're gonna have to go back and touch that up, but we can do that all later on as we get past, because that's just a little bit of hand touch up that we can, that'd be easy to do. And we're also going to try to in the next video get knocking out on Jesse Owens here. Yeah, but we're gonna start off with old Jackie Robinson. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this. We got two different colors we're going to be working with. Minotaurs. This blue. I don't know if that's going to get it. Probably not. Lagoon Blue by them. And we're also going to hit it with their Snow White. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut in, like just go in with a brush. Let me see where my brush at that we're gonna probably go in with. We're gonna go in with the brush and just do a little cut in, probably for the underneath here. We're gonna go with a fine tip brush. This is a 10-1, and just go through, brush in the white there, and then cut it in around the hat too. And same thing for the insides of the shirt. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but like the insides of the shirt, we're going to cut that in too with the white. Then we're going to go through, after we've put the white down and we let it dry for a bit, we're going to hit it with the Laguna Blue. But we're also going to be doing some masking off. Now, one thing that I did leave out on my last video was how much of the silly putty you actually use when you do mask off. And that right there, it's difficult to say how much you'll use, because these little figures here, they might use a certain amount. Figurines like this one here that I did. This is Jimmy Flintstone Joker head bust that I did. This one took a different amount. So the amounts that you use totally different per piece. So trying to tell you exactly how much to use is a little difficult. So you just really have to eyeball it. You just go through, start applying. If you see you need more, just apply more as you go. That's about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to this time lapse real fast, get some of this work done, get some of this masking done, and also get some of this cut in work done. And I shall be back. Okay, I'm back. So I got it masked off pretty decently. Just took this, actually a sanding stick. Took the sanding stick, kind of put it off and like pushed the silly putty off into like the tight spots that I really couldn't reach with just using my bare fingers. So I got it all tucked away. Got it all masked off pretty good. One thing that's good about these figures is when you go into the masking process, and you do, let's say you happen to get paint somewhere that you didn't want it, being that we're using acrylic paints, you can go back and take water in a Q-tip or something and take it off. Or, excuse me, or what you can do is you can go back later on with a brush and whatever color paint it is. For the instance, for the lips, I just go with this custom color that I ended up making from the previous videos. I ended up making that. Just go back and just hand brush it in and blend it. And if it's a small area, you won't really notice any difference. So don't fret about that. It's totally fine. You can always go back and do some highlight work and everything like that. So don't stress it. And remember, like, this is a hobby that's supposed to be relaxing. So the stress coming into play, I mean, it's going to happen, of course, but try not to let it get to you. Because at the end of the day, especially if you're using water-based paints, you can always just, as long as you haven't clear coated it, you could just go get like some Dawn dish detergent and a nail brush with water and go over it, and boom, you've stripped it, you've cleaned it. And if it's stuck on there, I'm gonna do another video showing like my cleaning process and like what I do if I mess up, and what happens when I mess up, because I got a couple pieces I have to fix myself. But it's this stuff called Purple Power. I mean, it works great, especially when it comes to resin. But like I said, I'm gonna do another video detailing like the process of me actually cleaning a resin kit, and what happens if you have a resin kit that you mess up on and you have to fix it, and it's too far past the point where it needs to be completely stripped, and you just can't go back over it with some other stuff. So I'm about to go ahead and set this up. I'm gonna reposition the camera so that we're in the new and improved paint booth that we have now. And I'm gonna start shooting some of this white down, and I shall be back. I'm gonna put you on time lapse. Okay, so we're back after that little time lapse. Just going to show you guys. It's hard to see it in this camera, but I mean that white is bright. It's the lights. Sorry about that. Let's see if this will help. Nah, that's not going to help at all. At all. Sorry about the glare. It's the light hitting the white. So what we're going to do at this point, it's already dry to touch, as you can see. Like, I can touch it, everything like that. Again, this is acrylic paints or water-based paints. So really, like, if you want acrylic paints to dry fast, just cut a fan on it. It's going to dry. Or I like to use like a little heater, but not directly onto the piece. It's just a little heater in the room that actually helps bake everything a little bit. It's kind of not good in the summertime like we are right now, but hey, it works. It works. For me, it works. It's a proven thing. So what we're going to do is, the next step is I'm going to take the Lagoon Blue, and just like we did with the white, I'm going to cut in some areas with the blue just to get down into them. And then I'm going to go around each individual little letter here and try to outline the letters enough so then I can go back in here and mask off the Dodgers and the B in Brooklyn. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me go ahead and get all this done. I'm gonna put you guys on a time lapse, and I'll be right back. right, we back. So went through, did a little bit more cutting, cutting in the blue so I wouldn't overspray with the white, because we're getting ready to go ahead and mask off. We're going to use a little bit more silly putty. Sorry about that. And we're going to also use a little bit of this tape. I'm hoping that the tape works in these fine little edges and everything like that. But we're going to go ahead and mask that off. And if I do get a little bit of, if it is areas that the putty covers up, but the blue doesn't always go, I can always go back and brush it in. It's no big deal. It's just a part of the hobby. You should just, to me, I always feel like you should come with the understanding of you're going to have to go back and touch up some areas throughout all this. So let me go ahead and get everything masked off and be back with a time lapse. Before I even shoot, I'll show you the process of me masking things off, and hopefully this tape will work. All right, be back. Okay, so we're back. So what I'm going to next, now that we have all this masked off, you know, it's not the prettiest mask job, but it'll get the job done for now. Because the only thing we're about to do is just go ahead and go over everything, spray everything down with the blue. You got to see this little part down here that I need to put some putty on. Boom, we good to go. All right, so what we're going to do is now we're going to go with the Lagoon Blue and spray it up. Actually didn't even need to use the tape, so that's a plus. So yeah, let me go ahead and get the airbrush prepped up, get y'all in the paint booth, or the spray booth, sorry. Get you in the spray booth and let you watch this time lapse. Sorry for the lighting. I'm gonna try to work on the lighting for the inside the spray booth. It's not as bright as I thought it was going to be for these, because my hand gets in the way. All right, I shall be back. All right, so we're back. Let this dry for a little bit. We're about to go ahead and start seeing the damage of what we need to go back through and touch up with the brush paint. I see a few areas that might need it. But yeah, we're going to unmask everything and see what we're looking like. I shall be back with a time lapse. Okay, so one thing on this channel, I'm going to be very transparent with y'all. I don't have a problem showing off my mistakes or anything that, you know, blunders or anything that I have as far as painting goes. As you see in some of these areas, well, a lot of these areas where we have the putty actually stretched out farther as it was sitting, because putty's, this type of putty, depending on the angle you hold and everything like that, silly putty, it's going to spread. So only thing we can do really at this point is just go back, and I'm gonna just touch it up with the brush paint, and it's just gonna take several coats to get it to match up just right. But for the most part, like, I'm liking how it's turned out, you know. It's definitely going to be, after I do some touch-up work, I'm also going to touch up with the white too eventually. But I want to do this blue first and clear out my brushes. But I definitely want to do the blue and get it all knocked out. And so I'll be back with a time lapse and letting you see how I prepare to fix this. right, so we're back. Went ahead, touched up some stuff. As you see, a lot of the parts that were white were now blue. I'm gonna let it dry out, and then I'm gonna go back and finish touching up some things, and then we're gonna move on to the next spot, which is going to be, actually, it's probably going to be a separate video, because I want to save the eyes and teeth, and I want to do all three of them together. It's going to be easier on me, and then I can show you different techniques to do with the eyes. Now, one thing to keep in mind with when it comes to these little figures is the eyes are extremely tiny. So to get the details of the eyes, I'm definitely going to either have to make a makeshift fine brush the old-fashioned way that I used to do by taking a toothpick, or going and getting like a really fine tip paintbrush and try to get in there and detail the eyes. They won't be perfect. I know for a fact they won't be perfect, because one thing that I've learned from doing figurines is the hardest part of doing it all is the eyes, especially on smaller pieces like this. Now, there are big pieces that will be popping up on the channel from different builds that the eyes I'm going to be able to detail really nicely, because they are a bigger piece and the eyes are kind of the size of a human's eye. So let me let this dry some more, and then go back and come back to you guys and cut in some more touch-up paints and go from there. Oh, you know what? It's one thing that I forgot, and it's one button I forgot, and I just noticed it. So I know we're going to definitely probably have to do this guy too. Oh, no, we're not. So, boom, there it is, right there. I forgot about it. But, yeah, I'm kind of debating on whether to go through and do little silver eyelets, or just go through with the white and kind of like do the eyelet in white too. I know this isn't like a traditional, like an exact replica of him, of Jackie Robinson, and definitely not part of the exact replica of the Brooklyn Dodgers uniform. But, you know, with all that said, I might try to do my own little twist to it. And to me, like, baseball hats look so much better with some type of accent to the eyelids besides like the plain color that's on the rest of the hat, minus whatever logos on there. But again, like, it just all depends. I might just go ahead and rock with it. You know, I have no really real issues with it. But stay tuned. I'll be back with a wrap up of this piece, this part of the piece, or this specific piece, I should say. Sorry. But yeah, be right back.